Hello and welcome to Pitch It. Shared Screens, what once was Shared Screens discount game show, and it's now just a laid-back discussion about some IPs we love. Joining me today to talk all about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Gonna be a good one. We got Bo, we got Jordan. How we doing, guys?
How laid back is this?
Wonderful.
Like we drinking mimosas up in here?
I mean, if you want to, I wouldn't stop you. That's for sure.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm in the Saturday mood.
Like
I did make myself.
Bo,
Yeah.
This
Bo
is
could
ice water. I'm
crack
fine.
open a bottle of wine or something. That feels like something Bo would do, right?
I am actually drinking like a modified orange martini.
Okay.
It's kind of butchered. It's a lot. It's just gin with orange juice and vermouth and
Sure. Okay. I think you mentioned before you were a martini guy, right?
yes,
Yeah.
martini
Okay.
maestro. I just want to also point out I
Right.
did not notice this until literally just now, and we've been on camera meetings and other content together. I just noticed the Shenron on your desk. Did you just get that?
No, I've had it forever. It's usually out of frame. That's probably why you haven't seen it.
That'll do it.
It's
Okay.
usually I have it kind of more angled, but
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I just want
it's always
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles aside, we're talking about green, whatever. I saw it. I love it.
sure.
Please
Yeah,
continue.
you can kind of see my other poster there. That's Fallout 3, and then I mean maybe the viewers can't, but then I have a little Crash Bandicoot right there, the Totaku thing that they did a while back, and that wall scroll is Goku.
God.
Someone explain to me why I just turned my head like this, thinking I'd get a better view into Austin's room.
Dude, I do dumb shit
With
like that. all the
technology
time.
nowadays, you never know.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's just
god.
portals.
I'll be watching TikTok and someone will have a sideways recording or something, and I start watching it, and that's that guy doing this shit, and I'm like, oh, he fucking got me, damn it. All right, moving on to TMNT. Today, we could create a comic, we could create a movie, we could create a video game, anything you want. We are at the wheel. We get a blank check. What would we create? But before we get to that, what is our history with TMNT? Let's start with Jordan.
So, I have a very like specific history where like the only show I actually have like sat down and watched when I was a kid of TMNT was the like 2002 2003 era one on Cartoon Network.
It's the best one, in my opinion.
I
It's
really
so
liked it,
good.
and I remember knowing so much more about it at the time. Like over the years, like I was never interested in seeing the live action ones or the Michael Bay ones. Um, I guess those are the same ones, right? But like I've never kind of really watched the newer ones, and
I mean,
There's
The
the
live-
original, like four, right?
yeah,
there's
there's
the-
the '90s ones. I've seen bits and pieces of those.
yeah, and those are live action, and they're in the terrifying suits. At least now they're terrifying. They were kind of terrifying before, to be
No,
Yeah,
they
now they're just
traumatized me also.
degrading.
yeah, which didn't help them any. But yeah, those I like. I will not stain with them and say they're good, but I definitely enjoy them for what they are. Especially the character in 2. I don't remember his name, but like the human that they meet, the pizza delivery guy that they meet in that movie is like a really entertaining character, and I love him.
The live action TMNT movies
Eno,
from the
maybe?
'90s have like the same energy as the like 1995 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there were a bunch of crossovers between them, so like it
There
makes sense.
was, yeah, they crossed over with Power Rangers in space.
Yeah, there was a bunch of. I think there was a bunch of comic crossovers even
Yeah.
back then. Maybe not back then, but I know there are now. There's a ton.
But I know the basis of everything TMNT because attached with that the series I watched in 0203 was this book I got from Barnes and Nobles that kind of just gave you the breakdown of their origin, and like it was like kind of like a TMNT 101, just who's this
Sure.
guy, what's he like, and it went for all the turtles, went for Shredder, Splinter.
Is this when you found out Casey was your favorite? Because Casey's always been my favorite character of any.
I don't know if Casey's always been my favorite.
He is very stereotypical, but he's like it's almost like what we've said on panels before. He's one note, but he's a really good note, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
My history was mostly my older cousin, or not even mostly, just to start out, my older cousin, who's like 30 something. He had a bunch of tapes of all of the original, like the 80s cartoon. So my brother and I,
Yeah.
like before I even had a concept of like what time was, and just knowing that like, oh, these are like, I didn't know that these were older. I was watching Scooby-Doo regularly at the time, so I was like, yeah, it's just a cartoon, and absorbed all of it as a kid in terms of emotion and in terms of the vibe. Like I knew that I liked, Donatello was my favorite until Leonardo became my favorite, and then Raphael became my favorite, and I was very attached to it. I could not name any characters outside of like the main 5 for the longest time, and then the animated movie, the TMNT movie, like the one with Patrick Stewart. I can't remember exactly. 2012, 2008.
2008 sounds more accurate.
The one with all the stone
It's
monsters.
technically the fourth movie of the '90s live action. Did you know
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that. I also saw the third one, the one where they travel time. Like
Yeah,
the
that's a bad movie.
so it's a bad movie, but I saw it so young that when at one point one of the turtles had to stay back in the past so that everyone else could get to the future or get to the present rather.
Right.
That was the first time I was like aware of the concept of a sacrifice or just like time travel in general or consequences. So I was like, is this something that I'm gonna have to like deal with? Like I'm 4 years old, losing my goddamn mind. Like, am I gonna have to go back in time and let everyone go to the future? Because I don't want to be in the past. I don't know how to shoot a bow and arrow. Like I don't know what's going on. Um, so I've always loved the Ninja Turtles, but also that is one of the darkest memories of my childhood. So there's always the little
Was it that
little
same
subversion
thing
there.
of like growing up and watching all these shows and thinking like quicksand was going to be a way bigger issue?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like me. I live in Iowa. I live in the Midwest. And I was like, earthquakes are terrifying. Like, I don't want to deal with earthquakes. Luckily, I don't have to. So that's cool.
I don't have to anymore, but another I was too young hearing about this. The big one in California where it's like the earthquake that's going to take out the entire fucking country. Learned about that when I was like 7, and then experienced an earthquake like maybe two-ish weeks, months after that.
Oh no.
It was like it was small. It was like 4 something. But I thought like, oh, we are all gonna die. Like everyone at the summer camp is gonna die right now, and it's
Yeah,
upsetting.
it was just the timing for you. Like, you just learned about this thing, and then it started happening, and you're like,
Yeah.
yep, this is it.
Yeah, around the same time where I'm like, I can forget about this now. It's probably not gonna happen. Oh my god, the earth is moving. The ground is shaking.
Stop it. Bad. No, go back.
What was your history with the Ninja Turtles costume?
When I was younger, like really little, I don't know. It had to have been like reruns because I would have been like 3 or 4. So this would be 98, 99. But I'm watching them on television, the original series, and I remember the wackiest shit from that show. Like, there were like mutant ice cream cones they were fighting. There were like mutant bananas running around that they were fighting. Like, there was some weird ass 90s shit in that show, and I latched onto it 110%. But yeah, I watched those as a kid, and then I kind of dipped off. I had these like books, which were essentially like one issue comics, but they were just huge for some reason. I don't know how to explain. I bought them for show and tell and everything. Like, I remember doing that as a kid. So then I dropped off for a while, and then the 2003 show happened that Jordan brought up, and that show like reinvigorated my passion for it. Like, that is legitimately one of my favorite pieces of media. Period. Like, I think it's that good. I think it holds up. I think it's one of, not the best, but one of the best representation of these characters as brothers. Which, if a line latches onto that like element of it, it's usually pretty good. If they hone in on them being family, it's usually going to be, a tearjerker to an extent. It's going to catch you in the feels, and they usually are successful. Disappointment, but I still love the Turtles so much because of my childhood and nostalgia. And like we were talking before recording, how it started as like a joke about Daredevil, and like it started from nothing, and then like it's the biggest like, whatever, we'll just do this to make a fun joke, and then it just kept going.
It's the perfect amount here to be extremely lovable and like it not transcend generations, because we'll see if it eventually has like a half-life, but like it's just so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not bound to any specific genre. Like, it's silly as fuck, but like you can do whatever you want with that. It's
absolutely
so
yeah.
Didn't it start off like the original comics? Like, they were like hella violent and gory.
Oh yeah.
And like take these characters but work them for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was like the only color you saw on paper most times was blood. It was black and white, and then sometimes red with blood. That's it.
There's a really good episode of The Toys That Made Us on Netflix about the Ninja Turtles. So if you're interested, or if you're watching this, you're obviously interested in the Ninja Turtles, check it out. It's pretty good.
Take a peek.
After you check that out, check out one of my favorite Twitter pages, which is Wikipedia titles that go to the tune of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song.
Oh, also, that's a banger. I have that theme song on my phone, like the OG. Yeah.
There's a bunch of Wikipedia pages that the title reads perfectly to that.
That's awesome. But yeah, so Ninja Turtles is like a beloved thing, and then Michael Bay butchered it. I think the Michael Bay, like, a lot of people, like, the original pitch for that was like they're from space, and I was like, I'm not watching this movie. Like, I'm not doing this. And then he changed that, thank God. And then they're like, okay, why are they huge? And I'm like, well, they are mutants. Like, they could be like 20 feet tall. Like, there's no cap to that.
Great.
Yeah, I think
thought they looked fantastic in those movies.
I think they looked okay. I didn't dislike how they look. like there's something about their like detail in their faces that didn't gel with me, but I don't think they looked bad. And a lot of people were just not they did not like how huge and bulky they were because a lot of the turtles like they had to be small and ninja like and like and swift. I'm like they're all those things. They just happen to be huge. But I was okay with that. I think the action in the movies are great. I love the action in the movies, but everything else, all the exposition is just terrible in my opinion. Casey Jones in the second movie is probably the worst portrayal of any character I've ever seen in my life. Like I hate that movie because of Casey Jones's portrayal by Stephen Amell, and I like Stephen Amell, but yeah, he was like skating on these makeshift skates made out of chair rollers and wheels. It was dumb.
Yeah, I didn't see the second Michael Bay. I watched the first one and was like, this doesn't upset me, but this doesn't make like it doesn't motivate me to see the next one.
I was motivated to see the next one because they like right away after that they announced that Bebop and Rocksteady were going to be in it.
Yep.
And I was like, holy shit, they're going to do it. And it was terrible. The characters that played them, I think, were okay. I just don't think they had, well, Seamus was terrible, actually. The other guy was all right.
I was going to say, both of them are like black royalty for like very different reasons. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
Or I wasn't going to actually see it, but I was like, I'm going to keep my eye on reviews because like if this gets anything above a 6, I will see it in theaters. But I'm expecting like 4s, 5s, or 4s or 3s.
I think it got like 5s. Like it wasn't good. Like 4.5, 5, like that kind of stuff. And the first one probably got like a 6.5, I would say, so around that. At least that's what I would imagine. I don't actually know. Don't have it in front of me. I'm not gonna look it up. I'm just gonna keep it in my head the way it is. 6.5 and a 4.5. So yeah, Ninja Turtles is beloved, but I've been let down ever since. I'm hoping that our pitches can change that. Maybe someone will hear this and they'll make a better TMNT product. So before we go around the panel, what type of media are we creating? Like I'm actually doing a comic. I'm doing a comic run, which is like we've seen a bunch of those, but I'm gonna try to reinvent it a little bit. I'm gonna fuck with it a little bit. And I don't think on pitching we've had another line of comics before, so I'm gonna go that route. What are you making, Bo? What are you creating?
I am going to pitch a game, a video game that is played on video game consoles, or maybe PC if you're wild, maybe your phone. We'll see what happens.
If you're wild, all right, Jordan.
I am also pitching a video game. Funny enough.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna start with Bo, then we'll go me, and then we'll go Jordan. That way, it's not game and game. So, Bo, go ahead, take it away.
Mine is pretty quick and straightforward. I want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game in the style of Mario versus Rabbids, or Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Wow.
Notice I did not say XCOM.
Okay.
I think Mario Rabbids did a good job of the team dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Like with XCOM, it's kind of faceless soldiers, but like with Mario, and I personally don't like the Rabbids, but I still was like, it's nice having these characters. I like knowing that from a gameplay point of view, the idea of having one person here, having another character move behind cover, run, slide, jump over, and then use that for some kind of tactical advantage. I think that would look.
Yeah, as someone who has no experience with Rabbids and did not play this game, do they make the person? I know the personality of the Rabbids is like just crazy off the walls, bonkers nonsense. But do they make those pretty much? Do they make those personalities gel, or is it just like A and B? Does that make sense?
I feel like the game did a good job of balancing, like, especially from the very beginning, like, yo, this is not a Mario game. This is not a Rabbids game. Like, I haven't played it in a while, but like, I'm pretty sure the pitch or the pitch of the story is like someone in our universe in like the far future somehow combines the two fictional universes of these two things. And I don't necessarily. I wrote in my notes. My phone is dead, so I don't have exactly who I had to develop it. But I wrote like in parentheses, like just not Ubisoft.
Okay.
Because I feel like if they really did want to go for like the Saturday morning cartoon vibe, you could easily nail that. But I don't know. I personally wanted something more to the style of the animated 2012, 2008 movie. Because I feel like that did a great job of balancing, like, yo, this is a kid-friendly movie, but also if someone is getting their shit kicked in, you feel it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there is enough violence, and they also did a great job of making them feel like ninjas in that movie. So pulling some stealth elements, a lot of tactical elements, the idea of having them wait in the darkness, plan their attack, and then have one turtle go in, stun one person, stay behind cover, still hidden, another turtle runs in, jumps off the shell and gadgets if you're Donatello. I don't know.
Buck Buck. That's
Buck
from
Buck.
that's from the second movie.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
I
it's fine. Just they nothing over the top story wise. Just they fight. Like I had Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang, and Splinter because to me those are the big. Like you have to fight them.
You mean Shredder?
Shredder. God damn it.
It's okay.
No. It's
They're similar names.
it's similar names. I half me wanted to kill what's his name, Splinter, the rat. I'm just gonna say the rat and the Metal Man from now on.
Okay.
Half me wanted to kill the rat in the beginning. I don't think it's necessary. That's really all I want. I want to be able to tell Leonardo to go over here, and then tell Donatello to go over here, tell Raphael to go in the middle, and then tell Mikey to jump off Raphael's back and then slam someone. That's it.
I think those games aren't usually for me. You bet your ass if there was a TMNT one, I would at least give it a go. But I think from my lens looking in on this game, just like trailers and gameplay, that because I don't actually play them. I've tried XCOM, not my thing. But I think what makes those gel is because you know what gameplay you're getting. Like it's just what you said. It's like tactical stuff. I'm gonna make you do this. I'm gonna make my turn go. Blah blah blah. That kind of stuff. Maybe some gear loadouts. That kind of stuff. Maybe permadeath in there. Some stuff like that. But we'll
That's
get it.
the reason I wanted to go into Mario because
Sure.
less intense. I just want to. If this game came out tomorrow, I would buy it without question.
Sure.
It just became an easy guess from or easy answer for me.
Yeah, be something you could easily play over and over again. I think, but what I was getting to is that I think like making this gel, like what gameplay you're getting. I think a decent, touching narrative or an emotional narrative that makes you care for the characters you're sending into battle. Kind of the whole, what is it? Not the Nintendo game. It's kind of like three houses. What is it? Fire Emblem.
Fire
Is that
Emblem.
what it is?
Yeah.
Fire Emblem. Yes, it's kind of like that thing where like you. Not that they might die. I think you said you don't want that, but to an extent, like you don't want them to get hurt because you care about them. You don't want them to like be sidelined or whatever because maybe it affects the story or something. Like making you have an emotional attachment with this character kind of makes the gameplay different in a way. So I think that's like it's a good balance. You get to have an emotional story and then what gameplay you're getting. So yeah, totally. Okay, is that your whole pitch?
Pretty much. Like I could talk about this forever. I just felt like saying Mario Rabbids TMNT. Like if you know Mario Rabbids, you know TMNT. I feel like it's a very easy combination of just. I don't want a deep cast. I don't want I personally don't want permadeath. I just want. It could be a $20 game. You could beat it in one sitting. I just want good music. I want pizza as the health pickups.
Sure.
Obviously, Mikey has to say cowabunga at some point. Those are really my main requirements. And then I'm not a great tactical game design person. I know what's fun. I just want to have fun. I don't want to have to think too hard. I'd like to think a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I also need to beat Mario Rabbids so that I can provide more. I want a game that can make me. I want to finish this game.
Right.
Mario Rabbids, only I can finish it because the rabbits upset me. I guess that's the main thing. Just take the rabbits out of Mario. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out another TMNT pitch. I just got to the root of why I needed this specifically so badly.
I think it's a successful pitch because you made me want to play a genre I don't usually play just by attaching the IP to it. But I also think it's a type of game that would sell at least enough to make back the money you put into it. Because if they're not buying it for the gameplay, which a lot of people would, because a lot of people are just really into that tactical stuff, they would buy it for the IP, which would be me. So I feel like you're getting two sides of the coin here. So you'd probably make a profit, and that's the whole goal at the end of the day. So
money.
That is dope. Money
now.
Okay. My pitch, as I said before, is a comic run. So let me bring it up on my phone, blah, blah, blah. I just had it and it went away because Snapchat came up. Okay. And it's called Brothers at Arms World War. The Turtles are going to war. All right. It's dark as fuck. All right. We're going back to the old days, just not in the city. We're going to war. You understand me? In the trenches. What?
A specific war, or
in my mind, it's World War III, but
okay.
But
Back in
two and
time,
give
I was
no
like,
context.
I was like, are you sending them to Vietnam?
hold on.
Give no context. Oh, that'd be so good.
Hold on. I was gonna make it kind of not conspicuous. What's the word? I'm looking for a different word. Where it kind of vague. God damn it! There's a word that's whatever.
Ambiguous.
Conspicuous.
Ambiguous. Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna make it ambiguous, but in my mind it's World War III. But like, when I mentioned go back, I meant to like the old comic days, how it was dark and gritty. That's what I was referring to,
Gotcha.
not necessarily back to Vietnam. but like that is a focal point to like what I'm getting at. So.
Oh my god!
So,
Wait, no, the turtles were born from like runoff of napalm or some shit like that.
sure. Yeah.
You could, I don't know.
Okay. I will read it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles World War follows Raph's pursuit to help his friend Casey as he gets drafted to fight in the Third World War. So Casey is who gets drafted. Clearly, turtles aren't going to get drafted. Most people don't even know they exist. So, how the paperwork work? Who knows? But Casey gets drafted. There's a moment between Raph and Casey because they're always best buds. You know, they have this moment. They talk it out. Casey's talking about how he's having a rough time. He's gonna go. He's gonna go do some good and try to help in the war. Raph accepts it, but he doesn't. And then Raph follows him into the war and is like sneaking on to help Casey and all these things. And they allow him. They eventually catch on to Raph being in the infantry, in these troops, and they're just like, you know what, fuck it, you're here. And they train Raph, and Raph becomes part of the battalion. So we follow the turtles on an all new battleground, the trenches of war. Here the turtles are thrown headfirst into several nations' war-torn lands and in the awful warfare that follows. So Raph's gone. The turtles are like, okay, Raph usually disappears for a few days. It's normal, but like he hasn't been here for a while. And then April speaks up. April's like, oh yeah, I overheard a conversation that they had. Casey got drafted. And then it goes into this whole thing. April's part of it. April has a key part where, because she's feeling like she can't help in any way, because the turtles, they run after Raph. Like they're like, we're gonna go fight in the war, I guess, because our brother is out there. Where April comes in is she is you know how like in a lot of war movies, like old time, there's like the news article, the news bulletin that slaps on the screen. It's like blah blah blah, war ended or casualties. She's gonna be the person who is like speaking the war of the and how the turtles went to help, and she's gonna be speaking to the people about what the turtles are doing. That's her goal in this whole thing. So like a journalist of a sense. Blah blah blah. So April struggles to find her fire creatively, and that's where that comes in. I got past this. Hold on, I'm reading. Okay. The point here is that their lives aren't special, but they are calm and together before their lives get torn apart. War. War changes everything, but they are fighting for what is most important, family, and, war is tragic. The twist is Raph chooses to follow Casey into war, like I already said. But after all these things happen, here's the twist. When I said I was going to kind of fuck with it a little bit, not only just the setting and the war, but Raphael goes darker than usual. Like the war changes Raph. And Raph has always been the darker one, but he's going to go dark side. He's going to go Vader. Mikey goes dark side because Mikey can't handle it. He goes cuckoo. Like he's done. He cannot handle this. Leo sacrifices himself to save Donnie in the trenches. Leo gets captured. Leo is now with the enemy. Leo gets brainwashed. Okay? Leo is now the enemy. Leo now goes by the name of Machiavelli, because that's another dope-ass, old-fashioned name that my cousin actually introduced to me, and I thought that was the dopest thing ever. So he is now Machiavelli. He has no idea who Leo is. He's been brainwashed by the enemy. So they're in the trenches. Donnie feels guilty, clearly, because he let Leo get captured because he failed or whatever. Has to be Donnie. Donnie's my least favorite. Sorry, Bo. He's the one that people usually love, and I'm like, I don't. He is the most human. He's the most human.
Nerd one, and if you're like watching TMNT, you're a nerd, so it's just you gotta relate.
Totally. Yeah, and then the one more twist I'm adding to it is that they start losing the war, right? Like it's going bad. What does April do? She asks the Foot Clan for help, and the Foot Clan shows up and helps them in the war. Would that not be a dope ass scene on your? Can you not picture this in your comic? You turn the next page. And they're getting surrounded. It's the turtles all like back to back, and then the Foot Clan comes out of nowhere to attack these troops with like fucking AKs and shit. And like, oh, not AKs, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I would love to see that on print. I would pay to see that on print, clearly, because I'm trying to pitch this on you. But yeah, basically, World War. The turtles go to war. A bunch of twists. I'm kind of putting probably PTSD on Mikey or Donnie from the sacrifice that Leo makes, and then it just continues on. And Leo is the enemy now for like maybe he dies the enemy. Maybe he never comes back. Who knows?
God damn.
But it's gonna go dark, ladies and gentlemen. A dark story of the turtles at war.
Damn.
That's my pitch.
War is not cowabunga.
Yeah, that was a cowabummer.
Cowabummer. Yeah,
Second time he's used that joke, and it still made me laugh.
Because that I know it's fake, but that comic panel is so fucking funny to me.
it's so good. It's
You're
so
right.
good.
So, I mean, just to clarify on other media and content that we've created, I've always kind of said I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. Like I really like Last of Us Part Two. Like I like the kind of gore for not for necessarily a good reason, but like you're just exploring like how far a human will go for what they want in dire situations. I like that kind of concept,
And
and
you want
I'm
to show
kind
us
of
how
putting
far a turtle would go.
how far would a turtle go? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where that pitch is kind of coming from. Like in my brain, that's entertaining to me.
I personally once calling it Turtles at War immediately put me in the World War II mindset. So just the aesthetic, and also I watched Captain America: The First Avenger last night, so that probably also helps with why I'm attached to
Nice.
this aesthetic. But like,
Underrated movie. Underrated.
it was the first time I had like watched it beginning to end.
Really?
Captain America was never my. He was not. I was not a fan of Captain America literally until Infinity War, and that no until Endgame. Infinity, whichever one he was in more, I don't remember.
And
Is it the moment he does the he gives himself a thing on the shield because he
Yeah,
has a gash on his arm. He pulls
yeah,
that and he's like, "It's just me versus entire army. Let's fucking go. I'm not gonna win, but I ain't stopping. Let's go."
yeah.
And then
So I was like,
on your left,
you're like boring. What's your main character trait? And I was like, that is your main character.
yeah,
You could do this all day, and I love you, Cap.
exactly. The musical, I can do this all
Oh
day.
my god, I would see it live. I don't even like theater. I would see it live.
just for the meme of it.
Oh yeah. No, I'd unironically crying throughout the entire show. Just what a man! What a captain!
Yeah, I'm right there with you though on the Captain America thing. Like, I was never a fan until the MCU happened, and it was really Chris Evans' portrayal. Like the first movie, I was like, that was fine. But then rewatching it after seeing his growth and all that, and not necessarily his growth because that is normal for Captain America comics, but like that is his growth for me as seeing Captain America, and I really enjoyed that. So when I rewatched the first movie, I was like, yeah, this is a banger. I really like this. There's some CG, like there's a scene where they're like running from a plane in a car, like not running, but they're driving a car
Yeah.
trying to outrun a plane or catch up to a plane, and it looks like shit. It looks
There's a lot of it that
terrible.
looks like early 2000s internet movie leaks for like remember when that image was floating around of Megan Fox as Wonder Woman? It looked
No,
like that.
Oh.
I don't
Oh,
remember
well
that.
okay,
Was
well,
it
12-year-old Bo lost his goddamn mind when someone did a very convincing Photoshop of promotional work of Megan Fox as Wonder Woman, and I was like, this is perfect casting. This is the greatest moment of my life. And
Oh, that's
obviously
where your
nothing
mind
happened.
went. Okay. As 12-year-old, my mind would have went somewhere else.
Yeah, probably.
Oh.
We're getting off topic, but the one thing I do want to say before we get back to Jordan's pitch, the one scene I'll never forget about that first movie is when they open the pod and you just see fucking huge ass Chris Evans, and I'm just like I had to question my sexuality, you know? Like it's just like
Both Annie and
holy
I
shit.
audibly went, God damn. Like
He looks
his
so
pecs are
good.
so much further out than the rest of his body
Yeah.
that it walks
he
in the
looks
room a
so
full
good.
minute before he
My
does.
favorite thing is how Peggy goes to almost touch him and then stops herself. That was just Haley Atwell wanting to touch his body. That was not like a character choice.
Yeah.
I think it helps that like before then you see the modified and the like CGI'd Chris Evans, which looks good honestly for the record. That looks good.
The way they
But
did it is wild.
I don't even know how they did it, but that's
Yeah.
a story for another time. Jordan, what is your TMNT pitch?
So one of the biggest things I know about TMNT, aside from like my relationship with the 2002 cartoon, is the video game on the SNES. Or was it just
Okay.
the NES?
Turtles in Time, or
Beat 'em up, the side-scrolling beat 'em
Yeah,
up.
the side-scrolling beat 'em up. That's
I
the
mean,
one.
they're all side scroll beat 'em up for the record for the most part.
So, and I know that people loved it. I'm pretty sure I've played it at like an arcade in some way, of some form. And
Turtles in Time is like the one. Like that's the Ninja Turtles game. Period.
if that's like the one, then let's just say that one. But I know all of them in that time period were kind of just side scroll beat 'em ups. So just kind of that collection of TMNT games.
Sure.
And I kind of wanted to take that thing and just find a way to modernize it in a way. And so what I basically would want to do, and you know when people make Smash clones, they just go all the way with it, just rip it off completely. That's kind of what I want to do here. Let's just do a TMNT clone of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Because you get to play as 4 people at once. There are 4 turtles. The story does not have to be anything special. Like we were kind of saying before this, that the turtles are kind of this weird like thing that have stuck around but are very clearly products of their time. I'm okay with it being a little corny. Just take they're kidnapping kids, how dare they storyline from the live action one in the 90s. Like let's just use that thing. Same thing as Bo. I didn't think this would go for any TMT video game. Pizza's the health.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a must. And
Yeah.
no joke, I honestly think if you latched on to the '90s movies, you would get people to buy that game for that reason. Like there are nostalgia elements to those movies, especially because '90s was like the period for this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I really think if you were to like adapt the stories from those movies, people would buy that game.
Yeah. Or just some very generic story of the Foot Clan's doing this and we have to stop them. And the reason why I like the kidnapping people idea is I don't want this to be an origin story. I do want it to be like an established set of turtles. And I want it to go that, the beauty of Marvel Ultimate Alliance is that you get a whole roster of Marvel characters and you get to switch them up in teams of 4. With the Turtles, you only have 4 to start with. But I would like a point in the game in which you get April and a point in the game at which you get Casey. And then in New Game Plus, you get Splinter as an option to play as on your team.
What about you get Shredder on your team? Don't question it.
Wouldn't be the first time like the Ultimate Alliance series let you play as the villain in New Game Plus. So yeah, you could have a whole different team going through New Game Plus.
And then Super Shredder, which is basically just Shredder Hulk.
Damn, that sounds scary. Yeah, and
there's a wrestler who played him in the movie, like the live action movie. I don't remember his name, but I can picture him.
Wasn't he voiced by Uncle Phil?
Yes, that is true. That might not be that movie, but yes.
At some point, that actor voiced.
And it might be. I just don't know for sure.
Yeah, and then
R.I.P. James Avery.
Same thing as in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. The more you play as an individual turtle, the more their XP goes up, the more power-ups you get, and the different moves. The moves would start out very simple, and the more you play as one, the more moves they unlock. There would definitely be team-up things, which originally I found would be harder, because, like, in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, which started the kind of, like, fusion powers, as they called it, you get a lot of collection of powers. With the Ninja Turtles are all just kind of using martial arts weapons, but Bo, you kind of give me the idea of like they could work off each other, they could throw one another, jump off each other's shoulders. So there is, I think, a way to do like team ups, and it could be done local, it could be done online multiplayer, and you could do it completely single player and jump around all 4 as you wish. And I do think that would be a really good way to modernize this kind of idea of I have 4 friends or 3 friends, 4 with me. There's 4 characters. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna play this. Like it's that type of spirit of the game, just modernized. And I'd even give it some of the like little touches of like PS2 era licensed games. Like there should be collectibles. Maybe there is coins throughout the levels that will unlock like costumes based off different eras of the Ninja Turtles. Like
it should be like pieces of tech, and then Donnie is collecting them to create something or something like that.
Yeah, that would work too.
Oh, it was Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash was the wrestler who played Super Shredder in the movie. And Kevin Nash is a pretty well-known wrestler. You guys might not know him, but like in the wrestling world, Kevin Nash is it's a pretty household name. Also, you said like we have 3 friends. Come on over and play this game. That's like every Ninja Turtle game, for the record. But yeah. I get it. I get it. It just it's a formula that works. Keep it. Don't change it.
Exactly. And I just think that adding the 3rd dimension or the ability to kind of just walk around other than just side scrolling and have like the actual weapons at your will would just add like a really modernized element to it again.
Now is it like Mortal Kombat where like there's like the crypt and that's where you're walking around and then you're fighting, or in like the other mode, or how does that work in your mind?
Have you played any of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
Not for a long time.
3rd-person action.
Is that what they are?
Yeah.
It's 3rd-person action with
but
crap. The camera is
hold on. That was on me. I was totally thinking Marvel was Capcom. My bad. That's on me. That's totally on me.
No, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which is it's 3rd-person action, but because you're kind of controlling 4 characters at once, the camera is a little bit more Diablo style than it is like an Uncharted or Last of Us style camera would be.
Isometric angle, is that what it's called?
I thought isometric was only if it's like 2D, but you're looking at it from a 3D angle.
I'm just confusing things. I'm so sorry.
If you've played Ultimate Alliance, you know the type of level design and gameplay that I am talking about.
Yeah.
I love, and especially when you mentioned the fusion idea, because that was such a huge part of they're just like a huge part of the dopamine release per second of Ultimate Alliance 2.
Yeah.
That if you do that with the Ninja Turtles that are just, depending on who you're talking to, like at any given moment, the Ninja Turtles could be a little bit more hyped than the Avengers at any given moment. So like that just sounds like so much fun.
That's the thing. I do think that there would be one meter to like uh power up a combination just between any combination of the two turtles. But I think there would also be another meter, or maybe if you save that one up like 4 times, all four of them do like a group attack.
Turtle time, or no, turtle power, and then pizza time. Like pizza time is when all four of them come together. Turtle power when it's just two of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, totally.
I was originally going to call it the Cowabunga meter, but I was like, that only works for Mikey.
Yeah, that's just Mikey's. There's another third thing at the bottom right, really little, and it's like Cowabunga meter, and when it fills, all he does is go Cowabunga.
Yeah,
that's it.
If you parry, then you can do a counter attack, and it'll leave the enemy shell shocked.
Oh, a Cowabunga counter.
Counterbunga.
Cowabunga counter for shell shock. Got it.
and I like the idea of they would all play at their core similarly. You know, you have your movement, your jump, your light attack, your heavy attack, your melee weapon, but you're getting all the different weapons that they use, so they do each have a different feel to them. And maybe one is faster, one's more, you know, bulky, one can do more acrobatics and stuff.
Yeah, and
Just their weapon types.
Donnie is always the popular one for any video game because almost any video game he is able to have more reach because he uses a staff, and that's like crucial for any fighting game at all. So yeah, he's
I was
usually
going to say also the
popular one.
gadgets. The
Yeah.
gadgets would be great. I'm imagining, like, if Michelangelo is still using, if he's using his nunchucks, doing something with the, like, maybe he can apply status or like elemental ability or elemental statuses.
Yeah.
So, like every time he hits, then or focus on crit versus element.
That definitely sounds like something that would be realistic to put in this type of game.
Mm-hmm. And he just gave you the narrative in too, with like Donnie focusing on that as well. There's a series. I think there might have been 3. I think there's only 2, but there might have been 3. It's called TMNT Battle Nexus. They were just like normal third person action games where you can control the turtles and cycle through them. And I really liked them. I really like the second one. They're definitely just like licensed game from that period of time, and they're not great games, but I just think the turtles controlled well and were portrayed well enough. But there's a move that Mikey can do, and I want it in every Turtles game ever made, is where he literally just jumps and swings his nunchucks, and then he kind of like floats around, and you levitate a bit. It's fun.
Yeah,
I love it.
Like fuck physics. He's gonna be the He's gonna be the one that could make the longer jumps.
Yeah, like I think Mikey should be the one who, like, everyone is semi-realistic, but Mikey's who can just do like super mega backflips in a row or something, you know?
Yeah.
Just tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm imagining kind of like Clank from Ratchet and Clank, where like you jump and you kind of glide down with the propellers.
Yeah, it's literally that, but the propellers is nunchucks.
Yeah, he's hit his own propellers.
And his feet are doing this. That's it. That's the entire thing. But I love it. They nailed that mechanic. So yeah.
Fuck everything that I pitched. I want a Splinter dating sim.
What? Has he ever
No, I'm
dated?
kidding. Well, he's gonna.
Is he? He's a dad already. Fuck it. You don't need it. Yeah. Here's the key question: is your Splinter? Did he start out as a human and became a rat, or was he a rat that became anthropomorphic? Because they're 2 separate Splinters.
Are there really?
Yeah.
Not in like the same continuity, like at the same time.
Yeah, but there's just been
like origin wise.
It depends on the story you're trying to tell.
Interesting.
In mine, so honestly, Austin, I was so attached to the whole Turtles in World War II. And I know that you didn't pitch Turtles in World War II, but I heard Turtles at War. In my mind, went World War II because only World War II exists.
To video game
but in my head, yeah. So like, I went so far as like, okay, the whole April O'Neil is like a war photographer or war journalist. It's such a great idea. So I'm just like, make her the protagonist. She's investigating like initially like the Tuskegee Airmen because obviously that shit was going down at the time. And then some really fucked up offshoot of that was just we're gonna experiment with animals, and the head of that was like Splinter, and he got the use on him initially and tried to fuse with a rat or whatever. Shit didn't work. Spilled and then created the turtles.
Yeah.
And the Foot
So
Clan
I like that origin, but also it's funny to see what?
The Foot Clan are just an offshoot of the Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah, like Hydra. Just go full Hydra with it.
Yeah, just go in with it.
There are no rules.
They can call them like I don't know, the blondes. Like it's just something
no.
that's terrible.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh,
What do you mean?
oh,
What
this
do you
is
mean, Jordan? Coming from you?
wait,
Don't give me that.
okay. Call them the eye, and then have like the resistance or whatever, like the scratch the eye, so that they can be like the Nazis.
That's so much better. That's so.
Anti-Semitism was wrong. We're not trying to make a joke of that. Just
We're making fun of the pieces of shit that are Nazis.
yes.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them.
Yeah.
If it wasn't clear already from either this or other content we've made, fuck Nazis. Like I don't.
I'm just so terrified of seeing 30 seconds of me saying something dumb just on some weird subreddit or some 4chan thing.
Look at
yeah,
this
out of
asshole.
context. Yeah.
Not much.
Just like he was.
Of all
No
things,
more
for
diversity in
this to come
Ninja
out
Turtles.
It's a TMNT thing. Like, okay, we're gonna bring it home. Those have been our pitches. We got 2 games in a comic run. We got a game where Ultimate Alliance, like you're controlling 4 characters. You got the turtles. It seems to make sense. It seems like something that should have happened already. Totally. We got another game where it's like Mario plus Rabbids, and you're the tactical kind of espionage, not espionage, but tactical. You do this. I'm commanding you. Probably an emotional element to the characters. Get an attachment there. Then we have a comic run where the turtles go to war, which Bo is attached to for some reason.
I love it. I love it so
idea.
much.
Yeah. And just like the morbid curiosity that I have for like punishment of characters and how they handle that. Like there's something about in Walking Dead, like there's something about seeing someone break, like their breaking point, and then how they recover from, not even recover from that, just how they go forward from that, because they're not the same human at all. Like after the zombie apocalypse, like you can't be the same human. I like that progression of character, because it's a progression of character you don't see in other things. Yeah. Like how would your character be if literally everything changed? There is no constant. Everything is changed now. Yeah. Like that's just it. I don't know. It's guilty curiosity of mine. So I want to see how the turtles would react to that. Yeah, I wish I could erase all the Nazi talk we had, but this has been Pitch It. This has been Shared Screens Pitch It. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.